I'm really grateful for the meditation we did in the morning. Everything looks so fluid now. Nothing is concrete. As you said some time back, it's almost like, I don't know much about that story, but about the father and the son turning back. And it's like the son turning back and the father arrives. I don't know if there is a question. The thing is like, in a sense, like I can, at least from this, from the sound, I can feel everything is happening in this awareness when I close my eyes. And at some point in time when I open the eyes, I could feel that that too is happening in the awareness. The question I have is it that you see everything as awareness when you look at it outside? So, who is speaking and who is listening?
All the characters in all Shakespeare's plays are talking amongst each other. So the characters are talking and the characters are listening to one another. Some of them are talking, some of them are laughing, some of them are dancing, some of them are playing tennis, some of them are making love, some of them are arguing. They're all interacting with each other in all sorts of different ways. But the only one that is there doing any of these activities is Joe Smith. Joe Smith is through the agencies of each of these characters, that is, consciousness through the activities of each of our minds, is interacting with itself. And if you think of all the interactions that take place between human beings, what are two human beings that interact with each other? What is at the core of their desire to interact with each other? Whether it is two lovers alone together, or Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un talking to each other, what are they really seeking? What is the ultimate cause between all our engagements with one another, both loving and hostile? It is to find resolution. It is to realize we are Joe Smith. It is to realize our shared, that is the tension in all relationships. whether it is a hostile tension between Trump and Kim Jong-un, or a tension between two lovers, or just a conversation like this, that the tension is always the force that is pulling the two parties back to their shared reality. That the whole enactment of human relationship, from the most loving to the most unloving, is all an enactment of a single desire to go back to our shared being. It's all a play of the veiling of our shared being and the returning to our shared being. That's all that's happening in our relationships with one another, however loving or hostile they may be.
Like when you see, not in terms of object, but in terms of real seeing, what does it really mean? Without veil.
What does it mean to see without a veil?
I don't know if you can put words to it, but in terms of real seeing of everything around.
All there is to the experience of seeing is the knowing of it. In other words, this experience of seeing, that the only substance present in the experience is knowing or consciousness. It is to see that consciousness, which, being the reality of all experience, is not limited by any particular experience and is therefore infinite. It is to see infinite consciousness shining in and as our finite experience. It's not that this is an illusion with some ultimate reality behind it. This very experience, this ordinary finite experience, the sight of this room, made only of seeing, the reality of the experience of seeing, by the reality I mean the substance that is there, is only infinite knowing. So it is to see the infinite as the finite, but not to allow finite experience to veil our knowledge of the infinite. In Sufi language, to see God's face everywhere.
Thank you.
So it's not that we see a different world. It's not what we see, it's the way we see. A sage sees the world in exactly the same way that we do. Sees the same apparent world. It's the way we see, not what we see. It's that story of Turner that some of you know. The English painter William Turner was returning home from a day's painting on Hampstead Heath in North London, and one of the local residents asked him, "Mr. Turner, can I have a look at your painting?" So Turner shows the local resident this painting, and the local resident says, "I've lived here all my life. I've walked on Hampstead Heath almost every day of my life, but I've never seen a view like that. And Turner says, no, but don't you wish you could?